Hello, we are live once again. This is actually the second time today that I'm live on YouTube, but today is Tuesdays with Schwartz. That is my weekly show, the podcast all about education. We coming to you live from YouTube. We're not going to be rebroadcasting anymore from IGTV because that's the topic of today's show. Is Instagram dead? Um, I think it may be, but I'll put it this way: you have to really transition. Every single social media platform has a different purpose. That's it. Has a different purpose. So I want you to understand that. So let's get into it. So there you go. We got a little intro. I am using all of my skills. So if you're not aware of this channel, follow right now. One of the things that I want you to be aware of is that I am going to show you all 21st century skills while you watch this channel and all the videos. So the 5 skills that we know about, I'll put them up on the board. Let's see if we can actually, I might not have them anymore. How about that? Let's see. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Here we go. So the 5 21st century skills, we've got leadership, team building, problem solving, sales and communications. Just wanted to let you know. So this is all about communication. So my editing skills, my ability to be on camera, how to look into the camera. This is so I'm making eye contact with you. This is so key and critical and important, and being able to be comfortable in front of the screen because you are watching me. I'm not watching you. I don't see you. I don't have a big monitor. I don't have all the followers watching me. So I don't know where you are, who you are, where you're from. So put it in the comments. Let me know who you are, where you're from, what's going on. So one of the big things that I know YouTubers want to know, and I know my students want to know, because we're living in the 21st century, what can you do with social media? And the opportunities are endless. I mean, literally endless. So why don't we get into it? And I'm going to go to audio. I'm going to go to that makes it sound a little bit better. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I actually had it on from the other show that I was doing on Instagram. That was my last show on Instagram going live. I will do videos up there. I will do different things, but let's just call it what it is. So, all right. So what are we talking about? Is Instagram really dead? Each platform has to be used in a different way. So I am on practically every social media at this point. Somebody just told me that I should get on Clubhouse. So I will probably be there. I will probably be transitioning down my Instagram, and I will take on one other social media. So right now, I am on LinkedIn. I am on obviously Instagram. I am on YouTube, and I am also on Twitter. You can see it right there down below. You can follow me on both Twitter and on Instagram. Again, the same handle, @RewardsPro. Now, a lot of people ask me, where did I come up with that name, @RewardsPro? So let me get into who I am, my background, where Rewards Pro came from. So first of all, my name is D. Scott Schwartz. I am your host of this show weekly at 2 o'clock on the West Coast, 5 o'clock on the East Coast. And so I have a 20-year background in education. Let me start from the beginning. I started my career as a teaching assistant and worked my way up the education ladder to my last post as superintendent. So I have 20 years inside the system, both working with public schools and charter schools as well as state schools, Department of Ed, our legislature in the state that I'm from. And so I have a lot of insider knowledge and behind the scenes information. So if you have a question about education, any question at all, put it in the comments. I will make a video just about your question. I don't care how silly you think the question is. There's no such thing as a silly question. The only time that it's a silly question is if it's a repeated question. If somebody's already asked that question and you're asking the same question, then again, I'm just repeating myself. And so that's the only time that I might get frustrated or I might not answer your question, is if I've already answered it. So if it's in a video, please watch, search all of my videos and try to go through through the channel. I will put it this way, this video quality is way better than the previous video quality. I mean, look at this. This is, I'm not wearing the best color shirt, I admit, for this backdrop. So I am going to adjust with how I dress as we move forward. I'm going to make this more professional so that you can enjoy this. So one of the things that we'll talk about is so what is Instagram really for? Instagram is for, at this point, promotions. That's it. Can you grow as a creator on Instagram? No. If you are trying to grow as a creator on Instagram, good luck. You are not going to make it. If you have an audience already, I'm just going to tell you right now, you should transition that audience to another platform immediately. Immediately, because you're going to find this very difficult. You're not going to grow. I don't know exactly what Instagram's plans are. They're not making it very clear. They seem to be changing week to week. The algorithm keeps updating. They have no idea what exactly they want to do. So, I mean, pretty much you have to figure it out on your own. I don't know. It's kind of how teachers are. They're on their own. So Instagram, good luck. You haven't done very much. So Facebook is still a viable marketplace. It is a great place to talk to people, to meet people, to network. So I have actually I have 3 free Facebook groups, depending on where you're coming from. So if you're a parent and you're concerned about, the school system, I have a Facebook group for you. If you're a novice teacher, if you're an inexperienced teacher, someone who's learning the craft, the practice of teaching, I have a Facebook group for you. And then if you're just a regular teacher, a regular educator, and you know about the system, I have another Facebook group for you. And the reason I had to come up with 3 different groups was because there's 3 separate types of questions that you're going to ask. And so teachers don't want to know about the questions that parents ask. It's irrelevant to them. And that's where we bring in, what's relevant on Instagram. On Instagram, the only thing that's relevant is recycled TikTok videos. They wanted to go to Reels. That's what they're promoting. So at this point, that's really mostly what I'm going to be posting is Reels. I'm doing much less posting of photos or carousels, very limited. And it's all going to be about promoting this channel so that you come here and come see what we got going on. I'm going to probably go live every single day. I'll just put it that way. I'm probably going to go live every single day. I don't see why I shouldn't. Now, I will say this. So I will not go live on Friday and Saturday. Those are my 2 days off. So I will not go live on Friday and Saturday. I haven't made a decision yet if I'll go live on Sunday, only because as fall comes around, Sunday tends to be football day, and I'm not quite sure. I might want to watch football myself. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go later in the day after football is over. Maybe I'll go after the same market that 60 Minutes is in. I'm going to be talking about things that you don't know about in the system. So maybe what I'm talking about will help you. My hope is that it does. if you want to leave a question, again, I know this live podcast is not making much sense. I realize that as I'm going, but I'm here trying to get to you. This will get better. I'll put it this way. I have a background, a 10-year background as well in broadcast media, in addition to 20 years in teaching. And I know you're saying, well, how is that even possible? You're not that old. And you're right, I'm not that old. I have worked really hard in my life. I have subscribed to, you work really hard when you're younger, and then you try to pull back as you get older, so that once you figure out what you're going to do. So at this point, I have several different things that I do, one of them being the live show. So it's just transitioning. The Tuesdays with Schwartz is transitioning from Instagram to YouTube. So I'm not creating another thing. I'm just transitioning from one platform to another. So I have a live show. Now I may add in the audio podcast, because if you're in your car and you want to listen to something, I used to have a radio show, and that was an hour-long show. So I can totally talk for an hour. And I can have guests, and I can have them call in, and I can have them do things, and we can actually really make this dynamic. But I need to hear from you to know what it is that you want to hear about. Do you want the secrets of being a teacher, or do you want the secrets of why schools operate the way they do? Do you want to know why schools waste so much money? Like, do you want to know where the money goes? I'm a certified principal, superintendent, and school business administrator, so I understand the budgets and where money goes and how it's spent. And I'll just put it this way. There is not one dime that's not spent in a school. The problem is that it's not spent necessarily the wisest. It's not always the best. We could do more with the money that we have. It's just that, it's just that it's hard. It's hard. We don't fully get everything going. So I have an account on Medium, which is my blog. Well, actually, it's my articles. I'll put it this way. So I was a reporter as well. I wrote for the Star Ledger, and I was on radio as a reporter for WRKL in New York, covering news and politics for about a year. So I use Medium as my journalism, like article written based stuff. So that's where I'm going to put all of the research based articles. So all of the research that I've done, I'm going to put it there. I will hopefully, as I do these videos coming, and because this I just pulled together, because I literally finished the show on Instagram and jumped on YouTube. So as I'm doing that, I will have things more prepared for next week. So I'll have the link to the article that I talk about, which will have all the research and everything. So everything's going to flow, like do it all that way. Everything's going to flow. That's all I can say. Everything is going to flow. So if you have a question, jot it down. I don't want to spend too much time on this one, because I kind of feel like it's all over the place at this point. So I want to thank you so much. Please subscribe, because we're trying to create a community. The community is of people who care about school. So that means if you're a teacher, you're a parent, you're a student, or you're just an American citizen who is tired of a second-rate educational system, if you want a first-rate educational system, follow this account and ask me your questions. I am behind the scenes. I am building the building blocks to fix the system. So the first thing that we're doing is a teacher development program. If you want to sign up for that, I am going to put it up on the screen. If you want to sign up for that, it is the NIVAS Teacher Development Program. We have enrollment only for, I need to make this very clear, 1,000 teachers. That's it. Once I hit 1,000 teachers, it's closed. The reason is because I only want to talk to the 1,000 most enthusiastic teachers in the United States who just want to learn. And since we hire around 200,000 teachers a year, I know I can find 1,000 of you that are just super gung-ho, and you're like, you know what? I want to be the best in the United States. And I promise you, if you join this program by the end of your second year, because this is going to stay with you till you get tenure. And so that means that you're going to get rehired by your district after year 1, after year 2, and after year 3, you're going to get hired and you will get tenure then in your 4th year. Because this program is 10 times better than anything you have in district. Right now, school districts use what's called a professional development program. What it doesn't do is it doesn't help you. What they all think it does, that means administrators, boards of ed, superintendent, they all think that professional development helps you grow. It doesn't. I'm going to give you the two terms, one and done and one size fits all. What does one and done means? It means it's one workshop, 90 minutes, cram as much into your brain as possible. Now you on your own have to figure out how to use it inside the classroom. One size fits all, every teacher in your school is required to be there, yet it's not relevant to you. If you're a gym teacher, not relevant to you. If you're an art teacher, not relevant to you. If you're a music teacher, not relevant to you. If they're doing literacy, you're a math teacher, a science teacher, guess what? Not relevant to you. That's the problem. One size fits all and one and done doesn't work. The other problem is that teachers don't get support in the school system. Why? Because you are on your own. You're on your own to do lesson planning. You're on your own to do research. You're on your own when you're in your classroom. And if you have a problem, guess what? You're on your own to ask the question, find the answer, and then figure out whether or not that answer was good or not. That's the difference. I started a program back in 2009, which is this program, the Novice Teacher Development Program. It helped novice teachers basically build their skills. The Practice of Teaching, which is a book that I'm trying to finish this summer, which will go over the 4 practice areas. Now, I'm going to tell you what the 4 practice areas are. Okay, so it's lesson planning, which we just talked about. That's delivery of content. That means what happens in the classroom. And then 3 is making connections. Now, if your students are not engaged, and I don't mean that like they're not interested. I mean like they're tuned out. If your kids are failing, if your students are struggling in class, you're having an issue with making a connection between what you're teaching and what they're learning. See, there's 2 components to a classroom. There's teaching and then learning. If you don't have both, if they don't match up, you don't get that aha moment. Now, hopefully that was for you, the aha moment, like, oh, that's why kids, it's not me, the teacher, it's the connection. They're not making a connection. You might be a really high-performing teacher, but the kid, the student, is having difficulty making that connection that you already know. And so the perspective needs to be, you already know all this stuff. The student is learning this for the first time. So sometimes some kids get it like that. The top 10% of the class, they get it immediately. As soon as you give your lesson, they know, they're ready to go, they're off and running. But the rest of the class, the 90% of the rest of the class, it's going to happen in stages. So as you start clicking with the kids, aha, 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 oh, that's what we're doing. Oh, that's what. So there's a meme, it's a funny meme. I'm going to say it, it's funny, but it's hurtful to kids. It's telling how a teacher kind of thinks, or at least the assumptions that we have about how teachers think. But there's a meme that goes out where, the teacher gives all the instructions and then a kid literally raises their hand, 3 minutes after the teacher has given instructions, and they say, what are we doing? Raising their hand, what are we doing? And the teacher's like, I just told you. That's a problem. That's a problem for the teacher, not for the student. If a student is asking a question, what are we doing? You as a teacher should say, thank you. Thank you for asking. Remember, I said there's no such thing as a silly question. Guess what? There is no such thing as a silly question. Not for a teacher. As a teacher, you want to know every single question a kid has. Every student in your class has to be able to and feel comfortable to ask any question. I see this as a little prompt on social media all the time where some of these real major influencers will put out a question and then say wrong answers only because they don't want you to give what you think is the right answer. They want you to give the answer you think. There's a difference. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. I want to know what you know. As a teacher, you want to know what the students understand, not what they're trying to fit into your understanding. And we have a problem. It's backwards. We have created a system in which students are there to please us, not learn from us. It's a huge issue. So that's why I created the buckets, and we can go back to it. These are the curriculum buckets. So instead of teaching, English, math, science, social studies, and gym, we're teaching leadership, team building, problem solving, sales, and communication. In my PE program that we ran in my school, my PE teachers along with me, we were doing 1, 2, 3, and 5. We did 4 of the 5 curriculum goals. We were showing leadership because they could break the kids up into small groups in phys ed and then have one kid. They rotated throughout a unit. Every kid was in charge. Like, how are you going to run this team? And then they did team building exercises with the whole class. Then they did problem solving where, the teacher would put out cones and, they put out cones and the kids would have to figure out like what the problem was within class. Like PE is amazing at teaching 21st century skills. You would be amazed. And that's also the same thing with art. It's the same thing with English, same thing with math, science. Like all of these subjects open up so much when we start using 21st century curriculum behind them. So we're no longer doing, and I'll throw this one up there because I think it's key. This is what we typically use in a public school, and a charter school. We're teaching, we're teaching English, math, science, social studies, and PE, and then other specials. And the problem being is that we're not really getting to the heart of what kids need to learn. We're not getting there. That's the problem. I don't know if you're aware of this, and again, some of these topics I'll repeat throughout, some videos as we start moving this community forward. And we're starting from the beginning. Like I have about 2,000 followers on LinkedIn, around 400 on Instagram. So we're at the beginning of this whole movement to change America's schools. But, the maximum that you need in literacy is 8th grade. You don't need any more. If you get more, that's great. You're advanced. That's fine. Like you can be advanced. But once you reach an 8th grade literacy level, you're done with learning how to read. Now it's all about vocabulary development. And if you want to be a writer, you need to read more because you need to develop your writing skills. And we'll get to writing in a second. I have a lot of research from the University of Chicago on writing and how we don't teach it properly in our public school system. But that's a conversation for another day. But I have research, and I will be getting more research. But I already have research from Georgetown University, Education Week, Dr. Marzano, Dr. Heidi Hayes Jacobs, and as well as the University of Chicago. I have my own research that I've done over the last 20 years, and I am reaching out to school districts to try to run, I want to run some data sets on this teacher development program if they will partner with me. So I'm running 1,000 teachers, which I will be able to do data from that over the course of this year. I would love to run pilot programs in every single state. I need 3 districts per state in order to run an effective data set. That's it. Like, because I need one to be the control, need the one to be the variable, and then I need one to be able to run what I'm trying to do. So like, some get it, some don't get. Like, you're gonna need the data points. But this is groundbreaking stuff. This is groundbreaking stuff. I'm trying to partner with a university. We will see. Hopefully they come on board. But there's a lot of things that we can all do to change how we teach kids. When you graduate from high school right now, basically you're not capable of doing very much. Let's just put it that way. You're just not capable of doing very much. That's not your fault. You haven't been given the skills. There are 2 ways to teach. You can teach content, you could teach skills. And as we transitioned into the 21st century, we needed to transition our education from content to skills. It's not as important anymore to be able to read Shakespeare from cover to cover. I know that's going to make a lot of English teachers upset, except that I just talked to a high school English teacher last week, and once we went through, like, well, what can you do with Shakespeare? They were like, whoa, okay, you know what? I actually do some of that in a projects class that I teach. And I'm like, see, the problem is that the projects class is the alternative class. The alternative class, the class that should be the elective, is I want to read Shakespeare cover to cover. That should be the elective. What should be the main class is teaching you communications with Shakespeare, with Faulkner, with all these, with Hemingway. Like, all those authors teach us communications. What we should have is an elective for kids that want to be more advanced in English. That's where the honors classes should be. So the general ed class should be all about 21st century skills. And that's, we'll go right back to it again. I'm just going to say, it needs to be this thing, 21st century skills: leadership, team building, problem solving, sales, communication, So if you want to sign up, this is it, leafacademy.org, TD program. Again, like I said, only 1,000 enrollees. That's it, only 1,000. Like, that's not a lot. So if you know a teacher, if you are a teacher, go to this right now. Let me know. Sign up now. We have a few weeks till the beginning of the school year. And then I'm going to run these other programs where we're doing the research and the data sets. If you want to get involved in any research project that we're doing, please just put a comment down below, and I will reach out to you. Actually, the best way to do it would be to go to one of these accounts and DM me right from there. So go to Rewards Pro on either Instagram or Twitter. DM me and let me know, and I will get in touch with you, and we will coordinate some kind of system as to how we can do research in your school district. I've talked to a lot of Board of Ed members. I've talked to superintendents. I've talked to principals. I've talked to teachers. Haven't talked to students yet because they're not in school, but we're going to get there. This whole thing is going to turn around, and it will go quickly the more the people get involved. I'm just going to put it that way. Like, if we had everyone involved right now, if I had 4 million teachers and I had half the students that go to K-12 right now, well, at least we're talking high school, this would turn around in 1 year. Like all the things that we need to do can turn around because of all of the support that I give the system. Right now, the teachers are the most important part of the entire school system, and yet they're the ones that are struggling the most. They are on their own. They get no support. They have to figure every question out. Not just that, but they have to figure out the question and then answer it all on their own. So I don't know about you, but I don't always know all the questions to ask. Like sometimes I need to collaborate with somebody else and go, oh, you know what? I didn't think about that. That's a really good question. And then you talk to them and you go, how did you come up with that question? And then they tell you, well, this was the experience that I had. And then that sparks like, oh, well, that's interesting, because now that connects to this experience that I had. Did you ever consider this? And sometimes it answers their question and they didn't even know. So thank you so much for joining. I am so excited to be here on YouTube. This has been, I think this has always been where I needed to be. But sometimes you just got to figure it out. So we're here, YouTube, Tues with Schwartz again. So subscribe. This is going to be live every single week on Tuesdays, 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific. But I am also probably going to go live every single day. So for you subscribers, this is the way to go, because you're going to get live content every single day. So if you want it to show up in your feed, just subscribing is you're going to have to subscribe if you want to get the live stuff to show up in your feed. It won't show up unless you're subscribed. So subscribe now. Tell your friends. Tell everybody that cares about schools. If you're a student, again, parent or teacher, if you want to change your school system, this is the way to go. Thank you so much. This is D. Scott Schwartz signing off.